Hi guys, it is 5 a.m., a little after 5 in the morning here in New York City. Yay. I got off work early again tonight. The one doctor I work with, I think I mentioned it yesterday, wants to take 4-hour breaks, and I'm not one to say no to a doctor, right? He's a resident PGY3. With that being said, he's still a doctor, and he's still the one in charge around the PACU these days, the PACU ICU. So he wants to take 4-hour breaks. I love 4-hour breaks because it means my 4 hours is from 4A to 8A, and 8A is actually when I get off work. So I leave at 4, I jump in an Uber, and actually I use Lyft because they're cheaper. So Uber, take note, Lyft is cheaper, and from what I understand, they actually pay their drivers a little bit more. Not that that matters, it's not my fight. Anyways, but tonight I won't be working with that doctor, so I'll work my normal 12-hour shift, and I'll work my normal 12-hour shift every time I'm not with him. So, you know, this won't last long, and I'm taking advantage. I'm trying to get to sleep earlier. So yesterday when I came home, I think I got to bed about 3 hours more of sleep than I normally do. So that was really nice, and I felt well rested. And it was really nice to go into work tonight. There were many people who were off last night. There were 3 of them. They all took the same night off. So it was good to kind of catch up and see how they enjoyed their night off. I always like to ask how people are spending their nights off. Like, what is it that you are doing to rest and recharge? And obviously most of them said sleep. One girl was able to go to the grocery store, and she said she spent like $200 in groceries, which makes me laugh because I don't have a refrigerator and I don't have a microwave and I don't have all this stuff, but she brought herself like a plug-in cooler. So it's like a cooler she uses regularly, but it also plugs in and acts like a fridge. So she brought that, and this chick brought herself a crock pot. So she made herself some lamb meat and onions and garlic and carrots, and she is taking care of herself. Damn. God love her. As she should. Her birthday was the other day, so happy birthday. Eat yourself some good meat. So it was really nice to kind of, I really, really do enjoy the people I work with. I absolutely love them. They're all from different places, different walks of life, you know, and they're just jumping in, and they're great, and I really enjoy working with them, and I'm really good at pep talks, so I'm trying to give all of them. There's this one, and she keeps saying how she's not an ICU nurse, and she has to go home, and she wants to study and maybe get into ICU, and I was like, oh, honey, you are an ICU nurse. You have been doing this for 2 weeks with no orientation. You jumped in. You have up to 6 intubated patients, you know, sometimes, and you're rocking it out. So I was like, don't sell yourself short. You are an ICU nurse, and you don't forget it. Like, tell people that. This experience has to count, you know, 2 weeks here has to count for 2 years in real life. Honestly, I even for me, I feel like I've learned so much. Okay, so I love my staff. Oh, by the way, Mom, Max, Jordan, I think my mom put like the Bethels and the Hobsons and the Fowlers and the Augustas, obviously. I think she signed all of your names to a card, to about 12, 14 cards, I don't even know, and she had me pass them out to whoever I wanted to. They were not addressed to anyone, and everyone loved it. I was able to I've passed out 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I passed out 12 cards tonight to some nurses, some practitioners, all people who have left their homes and their families and their friends to come and help, and they all absolutely loved it and appreciated it. They really, like, it's literally the little things that keep us going. I mean, honestly, the cards, they loved it. They all appreciated it. I mean, it wasn't hand sanitizer, it wasn't a mask, it wasn't money, just a card to say that, you know, someone else is out there thinking of you and praying for you, and yeah, so I am so blessed that my mom and my children took the time to do that, and that I was able to pass these out to my family here in New York. So that was really cool. That was the start of my night. And then it quickly took a spiral. And I found myself dealing with a patient who was not doing well. I honestly thought we were about to have to call a Cold Blue and start compressions and everything. And this guy has already had 2 cardiac arrests over the last couple of days. And so I called his wife. None of the residents wanted to, of course. This new guy, he cracks me up. I love the 4-hour breaks, but Lord. So I called her, and I have never in my life had to have a discussion with a family member about end of life, except as a bedside nurse. As a bedside nurse, I mean, yes, I would be in the room, and a doctor would tell these poor parents a grim prognosis for their child, and they would ask me, questions, and I would have those discussions. But I never had to ask what they wanted. If this happens, do you really want me to code, to do compressions and, put them through that? I've never had to ask that question. And so that's where we were come 10 o'clock at night. It's hard. It's hard. I don't even know how to ask it. I've never in my life done it before, ever in my life have I ever asked an end of life question of someone, and I had to, because someone had to have this discussion. It was rough, and I have all sorts of feelings and thoughts and stuff that I'm still trying to sort out in my head, I'm sure, as you can imagine. But I try to empathize. I lost my father, 6 years ago. But I was able to see him. I was able to watch the progression of the disease take over. I was able to be a part of his life. Every last day that he had, I was able to be there. I was able to see him. I was able to watch him get worse day by day. These people aren't. And how do you say, hey, your family member looks like shit? They look more like shit today than they did yesterday or the day before. And you can't put it into words. So the family member called back. They had more questions, obviously, because they called him, they tried to call during the day, or she called, I don't know, and she got an update, and obviously it was completely different from the update I was giving her. And I have watched these people. It will be the one person on the unit that you think is rocking it out. This is the one guy I don't have to worry about. And 10 minutes later, that's the one you're worried about. That's the one that's taking up your energy and your time. And that was gross. Did you see all that hair? It changes so fast. So some of her questions I couldn't answer. Her question was if she'd be able to see him. Would she be able to say goodbye? Obviously I can answer that. No, you can't come in the hospital. You can't, period. Will she get to have a funeral for him? Will she get to bury him? Yeah, I think so. I think you can call around and find a place who will facilitate that. I don't know how the showings go. I don't know if they're allowing them. I know they're allowing you to bury your family member. These are all questions I can't answer for this poor lady, and these are all things that she wants answered. you know, because I'm sure if you guys watch the news, you've seen the mass graves that are happening here in New York. So I think it freaks people out because people don't realize what the purpose of those are. Those are not for everyone. Though the mass graves, they are not throwing everybody in there. What it is it's people who are unidentified, people who have been unclaimed. They hold on to them, I want to say 3, maybe 5 days. And if no one is claiming them or family's not coming to get them, or you don't even know who they are, those sadly are the ones being tucked away in these mass graves. So if it's your family member, sure, like you have every right to find a funeral home, you know. So that's good. That's good. It's reassuring, but you don't know that. You don't know what's gonna happen. It's the Wild West, right? On that note, in this wild west, I have a win for the day. Today, I have hope. I walk away from that hospital with hope. Not for everyone, but for one person. One person on this unit. He is going on, I don't know, day of intubation, 15, 16, so over 2 weeks. And he is a nightmare to sedate. I mean, he is on so much medication to try to keep comfortable, and this guy will still be awake. He's kicking it, man. So, you know, his settings on the ventilator have never been crazy high. His labs have never been, you know, awful. Sure, they all suck, but I mean, I'm like, gosh, his labs, they're not at all what you see in all these other patients. They're, you know, he hasn't had all these microemboli, and he's not on heparin, and he's responding, and his vent settings are great. Like, the resident took his 4-hour break, and so I was there with the intern, and I looked at the intern, I said, I want to extubate this guy. Not today, but I want to extubate this guy. I know we don't extubate on this unit, but he's going to be extubated on this unit. We, the people who have been taking care of him for 2 weeks, we need to see this. We need to do this. Like, we can do it. And I pled my case to this God-loving little intern. Pled my case. And he was like, well, I mean, if you want to extubate, we can extubate. If someone asks, we'll just say he pulled the tube out himself. So clearly I gave him my case, and he approved. We did not extubate, not at all. He is not ready for extubation. I want to make him ready for extubation. I want this guy to be breathing on his own come Monday. I want to take that tube out if it's not out by Monday. That's what I told him. Monday is the day. He has till Monday. So instead we did like a CPAP trial, and what that does is that allows him to do all the work while the vent is still there. It's still in place, and we can take over. We let him do it for about 30 minutes. He speaks Spanish. The intern luckily spoke Spanish and was able to communicate, and he was answering questions, and he held up, we asked him how many kids he had, and he held up 3 fingers. You know, we were able to ask him if he was uncomfortable. He said no. He kept going like this, and we said, you know, what is it? Is it the tube? Do you want the tube out? And he shook his head yes. I'm getting teary-eyed over this, not about calling a spouse and asking her to not make us do compressions. I'm getting teary-eyed because of this one patient out of how many thousands that I have hope for him. He stayed on this breathing trial for 30 minutes. He did not pass, if you will, by technicalities. He started breathing faster. His heart rate went up. He assured us he wasn't anxious. He assured us he wasn't in pain. He wanted the tube out. Even while we were standing there, watching him and trying to have as much of a conversation as you can have with someone with a tube in their mouth. He was like reaching his arms up, like just oddly reaching. And we kept asking him questions and trying to figure out what he was doing. He was exercising. He was pulling his arms up. He was putting him in front of him. He was putting him to the side. He was pulling him across. He was moving his arms. He was exercising his arms. He was picking up his legs. He wants his tube out. He has so much fight in him that we have been covering up with sedation, because we have, here in New York, we have seen so much bad shit, and I say we collectively, that we have been okay with leaving these people intubated and on sedation. And so every time he woke up, we'd give him more sedation. Put him back asleep. He's fighting the vent. Put him back asleep. He's fighting a vent. Give him more medication. He must be in pain. We've been masking his fight. And it felt great to turn off the sedation, turn off the stuff that makes him sleepy, and let him do it on his own for 30 minutes. For 30 minutes. Needless to say, I think we all are walking away today with hope. This is what I came here to get, to bring home, to share. And I don't think I've been able to share it since, like, this is the first time I've felt it. I'm not saying that I don't have hope in general, because COVID will pass. COVID will pass the way that every other pandemic has passed, and we will learn from it. And in 60, 80, 100 years, something else will be the new pandemic. But I'm bringing home hope that you can come up, like, there's some people out, how do I want to put this? I have hope that people have the fight in them. You know, that if you have the fight in you, you got it. You know, he has a wife and 3 kids at home waiting on him. And he knows it. And yeah. So if I leave you with nothing else in my last 12, 13, 14 videos, I don't even know how many I've posted. I don't even know what day of the week it is. I don't know how many days I've been here. I hope I hope that this brings you hope. I hope that you all back home see I guess for me, it's really me. I was gonna say I don't care about you guys, but that's actually false. I personally I needed this. I needed this because I got to the point where I said people come to my unit to die. Look at this. My hair is fucked up now because masks. People come to my unit to die. That was the mindset. After day 1, that was my mindset. People come to my unit to die, and it has made it easier to get by each day. But now I have to change my mindset. I have to be prepared for good shit to happen, right? God, bring it on. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm gonna extubate everyone. I'm kidding. But yeah, I wanted to share that because I think it's great, and I want you all to pray for everybody, obviously, but if you're the praying kind, pray for this man, okay? Pray for this man on my unit who is going to be extubated. If I have my way, I'm getting this man extubated, and I'm there every damn day. So I'm gonna get my way, and this man's gonna go home to his family, and I can't wait to watch him to leave. I don't even want to leave New York until he leaves the hospital. I might be here for a while. Send more snacks. Sorry, I'm tired, I'm happy, it's been a long night, a lot of emotions up and down. Either way, I wanted to share with you that there's hope. My faith is restored for a little while longer. And God, it feels good. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to me ramble. It's easier for me to do this than to call people in the middle of the night. This is good for me. These videos are good for me. So if you listen to them, thank you. If you don't, that's fine. But these are for me because I have no one to talk to, and it's 5 o'clock in the morning. So, but go to sleep, wake up. Whatever you're doing when you're watching this video, do it knowing that there's hope here in New York. People are gonna start living, because Sarah has been here for 2 weeks, letting shit happen, letting them lay around, and just being okay with them being intubated and sedated, and I'm no longer okay with it. I'm ready to start making a difference. So thank you for watching. Thank you for all your comments. Thank you for all your love. Time to eat my snacks and go to bed.